Hello, what's up, guys? This is Teo. And today I'm looking at the new 9.1 PTR for the seemingly promising Fury changes. I don't know that they're good enough to make it meta, but I'm gonna take a bit of a look. We'll see. A couple things I want to mention is the new changes actually to PvP that kind of pertain to Warrior. Namely, Feral Druids are getting a Mortal Strike. Rogues are all getting a Assassination Rogues are getting a Sharpened Blade, and then obviously Fury Warriors getting a Sharpened Blade like effect. So the uniqueness of arms being the healing reduction spec isn't really a thing anymore. So I don't know how that's going to play out exactly. But anyway, I'm going to take a look at the legendaries. This is the new one. If you don't know, there are new Covenant specific legendaries for every class. So every class will have 4 new legendaries, one for each Covenant. So Condemn extends the duration of Recklessness by 2 seconds. Now, you can take a Conduit to increase the duration of Recklessness in the first place. So in conjunction with this, you can have extremely high uptime on Recklessness, and I'll go more into that over the talents as well. Some other possible legendaries that are a little more well-rounded, I think, that you could try as Fury would be probably this one. Rampage has a 30% chance to apply Siegebreaker for 6 seconds. And then this one. Rampage strikes, so each strike of Rampage has 20% chance to reduce the cooldown on Recklessness and Enrage regen. I think this could be better, simply because it has offensive and defensive utility, but this new one seems pretty insane. So I'm going to go over the talents briefly. So obviously the idea with that legendary is you want to just press Condemn as much as possible in Recklessness, right? So taking Sudden Death, obviously. Massacre. I've seen people play Onslaught and Frenzy. I don't really like them. I like Massacre. You just press Condemn more. It's better. Warpaint, obviously. Cruelty. You could play Frothing Berserker. Honestly, with how long you're going to be in Recklessness with this build, this could be good. You'd get a 40 rage refund. But the 20% chance isn't really that good. I just stick with Cruelty. You just do more damage, because you're going to be in rage pretty much the entire time. So this is just more damage. Bladestorm, pretty much always. Dragon Roar kind of fucking sucks. Damage sucks. Rage regen sucks. And then the final row is actually interesting. For the longest time, it's been Siegebreaker in pretty much any form of content for Fury. But I don't think it's necessarily as good. You can play Reckless Abandon. This basically just makes your Recklessness better. And considering how long your Recklessness is going to be with this could be a contender. I was testing this, and something to note I have not seen before is that when I was pressing the enhanced version of Raging Blow, it actually made me charge to the target, which I don't know if it's a bug or what, but... And then Anger Management, I think this is the best one by quite a mile. Pretty much just resets your Recklessness faster. Which in conjunction with the Legendary, you're going to have very high uptime on your actual Recklessness, which is very important because this new PvP talent right here. So Rampage damage reduces the healing that the target receives by 15% for 5 seconds, stacking 4 times. Now, when I read this and a lot of other people, you would assume that means that when you Rampage the target, they take 15% reduced healing, and then you could stack it, right? So 1 Rampage, 15%, 2 would be 30, 3 would be 45, and then 4 would be 60. That's actually false. How it works is I'll actually show you real quick. So as you see here, 1 Rampage actually applied the full 60%. Which I know a lot of people are like, that's actually insane. It kind of is insane. There's a bit of a caveat to it. But as you see, the Rampage damage, right, reduces the healing. And Rampage, if you read it, actually does 4 strikes. So each strike of the Rampage applies 15%, up to 60. So that does mean if one of the hits of the Rampage missed, you would get, 45%, 30%, whatever it would be. Other talent, just Enduring Rage. Pretty much just always play this. Just increase rage, your enrage timer. And then Battle Trance is just good. Again, you're pretty much just having Raging Blow be your filler. button to gain rage. But all that said, I'm going to actually show you guys the rotation, and kind of two things I want you to pay attention to is watch the cooldown on Recklessness, first of all. Watch how, watch the uptime of the actual debuff of Slaughterhouse, right? Because that's what's important here. This is what's making Fury Warrior insane, is this. Watch how, like, often I can keep this up. Now, this is a target dummy, obviously, and it's at 100% HP all the time, so I'm pressing Condemn on cooldown. It's not realistic for an arena, but it's more of a showcase to kind of just show you what Fury is actually capable of. Yeah, and then pay attention to how long my Recklessness actually lasts, right? It's supposed to last right here in the tooltip 15 seconds. That's with the conduit. So I'm going to show you the actual rotation and pay attention to those two things. So Condemn as much as possible. Get that Rampage up. And I'm just using Raging Blow as filler. Kind of get into this nice rhythm. Yeah, I mean, look at the uptime on that healing reduction. It's just permanent while I have Recklessness. Recklessness is still active. It's crazy. And Recklessness is over. Now, if you notice, I have 12 seconds until Recklessness is back up, which is kind of insane, because now I can press it again. Now, that's obviously like a perfect rotation, and it's on target dummy, like I said. But regardless, I mean, you can just see this is just kind of unstoppable if you're able to just sit there and do single target. As long as Recklessness is up, you have permanent uptime on this debuff, which is 60%. Which is just insane. And obviously just pressing Condemn all the time, just increasing this duration of this Recklessness. Yeah. And it's not like it's doing bad damage either. Now, one thing I think people have question of is obviously Fury, when you press Whirlwind here, you can cleave your single target abilities onto other people. I did test this. This does not work with the Rampage healing reduction. So I'm going to Rampage this middle guy. And you see it cleaved onto this other guy, but did not apply the healing reduction. So it does not cleave. So one thing I do want to touch on is that obviously this makes Fury significantly better. Like it is so much better. But it's still Fury, and it still has a lot of weaknesses. Primarily the fact that you don't really have options when it comes to honor talents. You pretty much have to play these. You can get rid of Battle Trance, I guess, but replacing any of these is really going to hurt your rotation, like a lot. You probably could play Death Sentence over Battle Trance, honestly. But, you know, you want things like Master Command or Disarm, etc. Also, Fury Warrior is very weak defensively. That's why I was kind of mentioning earlier the Reckless Defense legendary to reduce the cooldown on your Enrage regen and Recklessness. It's a 1.4 minute cooldown. I don't know, it's not that good, honestly. You're gonna die a lot as Fury. If you just train the Fury Warrior, they're probably gonna die. So I think, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's significantly better, obviously, to just run someone down, especially as Venthyr. I will say I think Venthyr is still by far the best. Even though it is better for arms, because as Fury, you're condemned. It does have a cooldown, so you cannot just spam it. I think it's still significantly better. It just gives you good rage, as you saw when I was saying the target dummy. With recklessness, you can get just insane amounts of rage through condemn. So yeah, pretty much wraps that up. I think Fury will no longer be a troll spec, although this is PTR, so things could get changed. It could get nerfed, right? Could just get nerfed before it even comes out, so who knows if it'll even see the light of day. But I'm hopeful, since Fury has been garbage for such a long time. It would be nice to actually have an option as a warrior in PvP. But yeah, that's going to be the end. Thank you for watching.